Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for a little flatline racing bodies. Hometown Heroes Wednesday nights. And tonight, we're at the USA International Speedway for a non-stop night of dirt track in here. First up, we got the 358 Modifieds, followed by the 360 Sprint Cars, and then not broadcasted. We'll have the midgets race next. I don't believe they're coming here to USA, but we'll have the midget sprint cars out there here taking their couple trips around the sun later this evening. So, you know, maybe not broadcasted, but if you're into running those dirt midgets, definitely this may be your place to do it if your iRating's under 3,000. C2CRL.com. Maybe think about signing up here. Lots of guys, lots of good drivers here, and well, smaller field than we've been having the past 2 weeks. And I imagine, you know, we're never going to blame the Knoxville Nationals. We thank the Knoxville Nationals, but I assume, you know, Dino, he's one of the guys. He's there, I believe. Brandon Dittmer. I don't know if the preacher, Blake Chapman, is there tonight or not. I know the mayor, Steve Bixler, he was also thinking about going. May be missing a couple guys here. enjoying some racetrack in real life is right now Superman and Choo Choo there in the 75, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. Playing around a little bit, that 218, trying to see if he can maybe knock that train off the tracks here. 75 looking pretty good for the moment. Deep slider move there for the 218, just trying to reel him in, trying to experiment, find something different, see what that good line is when we do go out here for qualifying. You can see there in the still cameras, I mean, all these guys, different lines for pretty much everyone right now. It doesn't matter. I mean, we're going to zoom out here. You can see Trevor, he's going to enter in on the bottom. Kurt enters in the middle. Now, Bob, kind of similar entry, but floats up higher there on exit. I mean, looking at those three guys, three different lines here, and see what Brian Moore Sr. is doing. Mr. Wednesday night in the 55 machine. Love to get that thing back on the podium. Oh, he gets a little sideways there, gets in the outside wall. We'll keep it straight though. B-Temp now gonna move that 31 underneath, and we're almost out of playtime here. We get ready to go racing. As normally roll it at 7 o'clock here, so. You're rooting for your driver to get in the session. You better, call him, tell him to get his butt in here quick. He is running out of time. You're still watching these guys work back and forth, back and forth. Trevor's been able to hold off the 218, and now Superman does pull to the inside, and that makes me wonder here if we are about to advance, possibly roll into qualifying here, as it is 7 o'clock. So we'll sit here. We'll pay attention to that flag. Guys pulling off the racetrack. That normally is a little bit of an indicator. But who knows? There's a, I guess, possible chance we don't. I'm been here for a while. Maybe we'll go a little longer. Let's see who is still out on the racetrack. Randy Shreve's out here for the moment. And now, when we click off, now we're going to wave it. Get ready to go qualifying, and we'll just go ahead. We'll click on the 31 of Brandon Templeton, because odds are he is going to be that first guy out there on the racetrack. We'll just have to see if it stays true tonight. There's Brandon Templeton. There we go. And this is your next closest. I'll show you where Bob DeGood is, so we don't think we, play favorites. Brandon just never messes around, man. He was ready to get in the car. He's ready to roll. And, I respect that. He knows what's comfortable for him. He's not going to judge his line based off anybody else. Now we'll see this 31 machine of Brandon Templeton. How much speed does he have here? As the dirt track bank 31 rolls into 3 here. Goes down there, trims the grass with the left front. Wants to get as low as he can. There's still a lot of tack. Float up without hitting the wall. Brandon Templeton, purple. And that's going to put the 31 quick time with a 22-4-2. Let's see what Choo Choo does. As the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, rolling the bottom here through 3 and 4. Slides up, grabs the cushion. About 2 lanes higher than Brandon Templeton. We'll see how it translates. Green. Not going to be what he wants, but a decent time. P3 for the Philly Flyers. Brandon Templeton stays up top with your quickest time. Let's find putt Clay Christopherson as he comes across the line. He's going to stay P5 for the moment here as the Philly Flyer comes across. He improves up to second, finds a little bit of time there in the 075. So right now, Brandon Templeton is your fast time, and my apologies for staring at my leaderboard the whole time and never pulling that up for you guys. You can see the lap time, though, there for B-Temp. I mean, wicked fast. Brandon Templeton, definitely going to be a guy to watch here tonight. I mean, almost a quarter of a second. And, you know, anybody who knows anything about dirt racing, too, that is an absolute lifetime. Let's take a look. Starting grid here. Heat race number 1. Row 3 to the outside, the 313 of David Tormoski. To the inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Row 2 to the outside, the 31 of B-Temp Brandon Templeton. To the inside, the 213 of Michael Vitale. Row 1 for heat race number 1. To the outside, the 051 of Putt Putt. Clay Christopherson, and starting on the pole, the 055 of Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. Can't remember if this racetrack is a 2-lapper. Pace lap, or if it's just a 1. I'm gonna assume a 1 because you know, they have asphalt, and I don't think they or you know, this is normally an asphalt track, I should say, kind of like when they cover the Bristol with dirt. I don't believe this racetrack is even open anymore in real life, to be honest with you. Let's see what that pace car does. Does it stay on the racetrack? Yeah, it does. We're gonna get 2 laps here. Give the guys a little bit of time to game plan, maybe shop around this racetrack, see what they can find down low. Riding right here on the right front of Brian Moore Sr. It's looking, the track doesn't look too slicked up there at all, and then when we zoom in, yeah, everything, track looks pretty fresh. I mean, you can pretty much go where you want to go, but what that tells me is it's going to be tough to pass. You know, there's probably that one quick line. I mean, Brandon Templeton, he knew where it was. I don't know if everybody else does, but when they get to follow Brandon Templeton for a lap or two, they're going to find out pretty quick here. Clay not going to be able to putt with a big run off the top shelf, and Brandon Templeton looking to get tugged along here as he goes to the outside. B-Temp gonna get it done as Brian Moore Sr. hits the inside wall on corner entry. Clay Christopherson leads the way, 1 lap underway. But here comes your quick time qualifier in that 31. Brandon Templeton able to hold off one last charge from Brian Moore Sr. But Brian not going away just yet. B-Temp goes to the bottom through 3 and 4. That's where he was different than everyone else in qualifying, and as they cross the line, he's got the gap down to 0.6 of a second here. Can B-Temp go get him? And meanwhile, battle on for third. The 213 of Michael Vitale. He's not able to pull to the inside here on corner entry, but he is right there. Can he get the run off of 4? Cross flags halfway, 3 to play at the USA International Speedway. And Brian Moore Sr. able to hold off that third and final, not podium spot, I should say. We're heat racing. But that final top 3 spot, but I don't know for how long, as Michael Vitale slides it up in front of the 55 of Brian Moore Sr. The 213 up to P3. Brandon Templeton hasn't been able to reel in Clay Christopherson. In fact, I had mentioned, 6/10. It's drawn out a little bit, only about 500. It's not very noticeable. But Brandon not able to reel him in like I thought he would, and then hits 3 and 4 perfect. Saws the gap down to 0.4 of a second, but the white flag waves. Only 1 lap to play, and putt. Clay Christopherson looking to get it done here. Starting on the outside of row number 1 for heat race number 1. Had a good run through 1 and 2. Now jumps the cushion through 3 and 4. What's it going to be? Coming to the line. He's able to hold off Brandon Templeton, who comes home second. Michael Vitale third. Brian Moore Sr. fourth. Randy Shreves fifth. and David Tormoski rounds out the field. As we get ready to take a look here, starting grid, heat race number 2, row 3 to the outside, the 161 of the Desert Demon, Terry Landis, to the inside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Row 2 to the outside, the 075 of Choo Choo, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, to the inside, the 218 of Superman, Kurt Schatzer. Row 1 for heat race number 2 to the high side in the 87, the General, Andy Patton, and starting on the pole, the 7 of Bob DeGood. Not too sure what's going on with Mr. Landis. Hopefully everything's okay. I saw, it didn't qualify there, and I believe that's who we're waiting on here for this grid of heat race number 2, and it doesn't look like he is showing up, so not too sure here. We'll see if, Terry possibly reappears right to the outside of the Brewerton Beast, but now see the pace car moving. Terry not going to make it here for heat race number 2. He's going to have to start at the tail end of tonight's Flatline Racing Bodies 358 Modified A Main. Andy Patton, he had the instruction manual laid out there for him in heat race number 1. What do you got to do to take the lead coming out of turn 2? We'll have to see if he can mimic the man in the 051 of Putt Clay Christopherson, or will the General just be content with possibly falling in line? The 075 right behind him, man. He ain't going to want to hear that. The Philly Flyer, he is, it's go time for that man. He knows you want to win at USA. You don't have to, but you better start in the top 5. Going to be very difficult to pass, so he doesn't want to have to dig himself out of any huge holes here. As 5 guys take the grid for heat race number 2. Everyone making the show. Just racing for those starting feature positions. As we roll through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, we'll watch the Steve King Foundation pace car pull off the racetrack. And the 7 of Bob DeGood leads us to the green flag. It waves. 6 laps to play. Bob DeGood with a rough start here, and now Andy Patton. Can he take advantage here to the high side? To the lead early, Bob DeGood, 1st to 5th. Tough start for the 7 of Bob DeGood, who watches the whole field go to the high side, and now the Philly Flyer. He's got all race to go to work here. He's right on the back of the General. 5 more laps, but here comes Superman. Look at the Kate flapping downstairs. The 218 looking to fly here at the USA International Speedway. On the inside, 3 wide through 3 and 4. Andy Patton leads at the line with 4 laps to go, but here comes the Philly Flyer. Big send, slide job for the lead. Andy Patton thinks about cutting underneath, but doesn't have enough momentum. Just has to fall in line, and Choo Choo leads the way as we roll through 3 and 4. Cross flags, halfway, 3 laps to go at the USA Speedway. Jeff Barker looking to take a bite here at that 87. Couldn't do it, jumped the cushion, but Kurt Schatzer loves it. He gets a run around that 87, moves Superman up to P2. As the General looks back down low, 2 fingers in the air, 2 more trips around. And the Philly Flyer just ran your fastest lap of the race with a 22.86. That clean air is just what the 75 needed. The 218 would really want some, but he's going to have to work here. running out of time. Only one lap to go this time by as the white flag's in the air. Here comes Jeff Barker. Can he maybe make a run here at second in the final set of corners as the Philly Flyer leads the way? Final time through 3 and 4. Checkered flag waves, and the Philly Flyer are going to start P2 in tonight's A main. Superman second, Jeff Barker third, Andy Patton fourth, Bob DeGood fifth, and Terry Landis does get out there on the racetrack. I didn't even notice that, just missed the start. Does get out there. So he's going to be running here in the feature this evening. We'll be right back on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Stick around. We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Only 8 guys have put in a time here and warm up, so I don't have to rub those eyes. But right now, Choo Choo up at the top of the charts here with a 22.78. Michael Vitale right behind him, the 22.79. So speeds are there. Should be a good race. Let's get ready to take a look here at tonight's 350A Modified starting lineup. Rounding out the field to the high side in the 161, the Desert Demon Terry Landis. To the inside, the 313 of David Tormoski. Row 5 to the high side, the 7 of Bob DeGood. To the inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Row 4 to the top shelf, the 87 of Andy Patton. To the inside, the 055 of Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. Row 3 to the outside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. To the inside, the 213 of Michael Vitale. Row 2 to the outside, the 218 of Superman. Kurt Schatzer to the inside, the 31 of his teammate, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. Row 1 for your flatline racing bodies, 358 modified feature. We've got a set of teammates from Full Throttle Motorsports. To the outside, Choo Choo in the 075, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. And starting on the pole, the 051 of Putt Putt, Clay Christopherson. We do one more lap here. We pace around just a little longer before we go racing here at the USA International Speedway. I'm sure the goal from those FTM boys is, hey, let's hold on to that front row. Let's do what we can. Not going to be easy. As you see the Ant-Man out there in the chat box. Sorry, Anthony, I haven't been doing a good job of watching coast to coast. But hard to tell where the Ant-Man is tonight. He'll probably let us know. Probably stuck working. Who knows? Hopefully everything's good out there with the Ant-Man. We've got 25 laps to set the stage at the USA Speedway. Green flag waves were underway. Trevor Giroux with a good jump on the outside, looking to get to the top shelf and get that early lead. He does, and Kurt Schatzer, he's got the cape flapping. Here comes Superman. Gonna drive it in upstairs, looking to find the moisture coming out of 4. He's got it. I don't know if he's got it at the line. Side by side, and here comes Putt Putt, swinging it back in deep down low through 1 and 2, trying to fight off the 218. He drives it in low to 3, looking to find some moisture downstairs. He's got plenty of it. Holds on to P2, and we've got an FDM 1-2 with 2 laps in the book here at the USA International Speedway. Andy Patton jumped the cushion there. He gets into the outside wall. Gonna have to hunker down here if he wants to go back, but we've once again got a battle for P2. Superman to the outside, and he may get him this time. Kurt Schatzer trying to get it done. Here comes the 31. Oh, little contact there between him and Michael Vitale. Tried to do a cut down. The 213 was there. Vitale did a good job of checking up, but that could have been bad here. Oh, B-Temp gets in the inside wall. He's got to lift out. And man, oh man, all this going be off the deck lid of the 075 of Trevor Giroux. Take a look out the back. Trevor running about a lane and a half higher than Putt Putt. Clay, you see, gets that run coming off of 4, and if Trevor maybe doesn't adjust here in about 5 or so laps, Clay may get that bottom to work, or it could be the exact opposite. Bottom may go away, and Trevor may be in the place you want to be. Who knows? 19 laps to go. Lots can happen here in Lakeland, Florida. Caution flag waves. The Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker, goes around in 3 and 4. Couldn't tell what happened there to the 513 right away. Let's see if we can maybe get a peek here. He drives it in. Clips the inside wall. He was thinking about a big slide job, but clips the inside wall. Hard into the outside wall, and by that point, just got to come to a stop. You don't want to roll down in front of anybody else coming by. That's the right thing. First caution flag of the evening here. And Choo Choo leading the way. Clay Christopherson maybe thinking how he can map something out. I would say the best, and this is what we're going to see. Now lights go off. The lights were off, excuse me. I didn't thought they were going off next time. But, yeah, that's smart. So, Trevor, obviously, he'll go a little before his teammate. But I would think normally you might see the leader pick the outside just because there might be some grip there and jump a little earlier. But having your teammate, you just go up, plop right in front of him, get in line, and the green flag waves. We're back underway. That's a good job for the teammates being able to hold on to 1-2. And now you got the Hammer Down Racing teammates having to battle it out for third. That's the 218 of Superman on the bottom. Kurt Schatzer, B-Temp, winding up the toy here, that 31, trying to get some speed into that thing. Got her singing a tune on the high side. Moved the 31 up inside the top 3. Brandon Templeton, he's right there on the back of the teammates now. Can he force Clay Christopherson into maybe racing for the lead here as he goes low, tries to get his nose under the 51. Can't do it. Clay downstairs, and right now, Clay, boy, oh boy, he's going to have to make that thing wide because that 31 of Brandon Templeton looks to have a lot of speed. Trevor slides up to the top here. Did he jump to the top side too early? Opens the door for his teammate who thinks about taking a peek low. Can't do it through 1 and 2. Gonna get that run off the top shelf. Maybe Clay Christopherson thinks about it this time. Gonna shoot to the inside. Here comes Putt. Side by side for the lead. Full Throttle Motorsports at the line. Oh, give it to the Philly Flyer, I believe. I can't even say that, but now Trevor looking to the bottom here. Does he reverse the roles? Does he figure out, hey, maybe there is a little bit left on the bottom here through 3 and 4? Clay not going to give him a bunch of room there, runs the middle, but it's enough that Trevor can get up into P1. And Kurt Schatzer watching this all go on right in front of him. Bob DeGood has charged up 3 spots. He's been a slow and steady runner here. Can Bob maybe get 2 more and put himself in the top 5 as they battle side by side for 5th? Michael Vitale able to hold off Randy Shreves for the moment. But Randy not done just yet in that 56 machine as the 213 gets in the outside wall. Randy Shreves cuts underneath. Now he's got to think about a slide job here through 3 and 4. He does. Gets to the outside, and here comes Michael Vitale. Cutting back underneath, side by side at the line. Give it to the 56 of Randy Shreves, but the 213 with a big send on the bottom. Randy gets a little sideways up top, and he loses the spot. Clay Christopherson's been able to reel back in the Philly Flyer here. Can he make a move? Looks to the inside. 11 laps to go this time by. Not a lot of time here, and if you're Clay, you got to be smart. You got the 31 of B-Temp, Brandon Templeton, just laying in the weeds, waiting for you guys to make a mistake. Good shot of Maylee's Bakery here on this 31 machine as he goes to bottom, trims the grass, almost gets into the inside wall, and boy, oh boy, those guys running a cut down. They almost made contact in that middle lane as Clay Christopherson to the bottom once again through 3 and 4, trying to milk the cow. Can't do it. 9 laps to go. Brandon Templeton with a big send. He's able to float up this time, and he can kind of reel those guys in when he can complete that slider. But the problem is when you get to the back of these guys, you're going to have to keep it in one lane. You're not going to be able to slide around, and this is where having that set of teammates in front of you is just absolutely daggering you. It's so devastating. You're thinking, it's hard enough to pass one of these guys, but when I got to go get 2, I just don't know if I can do it. The Philly Flyer leads the way. 7 to play this time by. Here comes Clay Christopherson. Trying to reel him in once again. Randy Shreves and Michael Vitale still involved in this battle, but now there's another guy. The 218 of Superman, Kurt Schatzer. Will he lose a spot to the 213? Michael Vitale on the bottom through 3 and 4, looking to find the gold here. Can't do it. Not enough moisture. Now Kurt goes down there to protect. Michael maybe leaves the door open, but man, Randy can't look to the inside, and these guys, they're working for it. The front two, though, have been able to pull away from Brandon Templeton. Does this maybe make Clay race that little bit harder? Does he think about going up here and stealing a win from his teammate? As we roll through 3 and 4, 4 laps to go this time by. And Clay Christopherson, he's so close. Doesn't make the move just yet. Thought about it. Fan back up to the outside. As we're going to stay up on the spotter stand. Clay got a big run there coming off of 2. Lifted in the center of the backstretch. Sets himself up back on the bottom here. 3 fingers in the air. 3 laps to go. And Clay, oh man, almost there. Clay Christopherson trying to do anything he can. He is not letting his teammate get this one tonight. He is making him work for it. As we roll through 3 and 4, Trevor slides up to the outside. Clay stays on the bottom, 2 fingers in the air, 2 laps to go. What do they do on corner entry? Trevor goes to the bottom, going to slide up. Putt-putt stays underneath. Can he get the run as we come to the line this time? 1 lap to go is Clay Christopherson. He's right there. Can he make the move, or can Choo Choo hold on? Half a lap to go at the USA Speedway. Putt-putt tries to get a nose underneath. Can't do it. Final time through 3 and 4. Choo Choo had the smoke rolling all night, and the Philly Flyer brings home a win at the USA International Speedway, followed by his teammate Clay Christopherson and Brandon Templeton rounding out 3rd. Good run there for Hammer Down Motorsports, coming home 3rd and 4th. Kurt Schatzer obviously P4, and Randy Shreves, your hard charger, rounds out the top 5, but 1 caution at the USA International Speedway. I mean, what more can you ask for? These guys absolutely put it on here tonight. Great run. And before we pull these guys up for interviews, we have to do something. For some reason, the right front suspension is in my interview. We don't want that. We do not want that. We don't want to stare at the right front suspension. That was a Shaggy hiccup, that's for sure. We'll see if we can find these guys. We'll wait for B temp to migrate on up here, and then we'll pull in putt after him. There we go. We got him. Brandon, Shaggy in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things of racing, I guess, sometimes. They're that middle portion. You look to have the quickest car on the racetrack. I mean, whether you went to the outside or the bottom, you were getting anybody in front of you. But once you got to the back of those teammates, man, you know how hard that is. I mean, 1 run in the bottom, 1 run in the top. You can't really throw that slider line. I mean, just talk to us about the mindset. I mean, what you were trying to do out there.
I was just trying to reel them in, get back up to their bumper, and then I found a little something on the bottom of 1 and 2 about the time I really reeled them in and got right up on them. and then I just touched the inside wall there once, and it busted my left front a little bit. And after that, I was just kind of hanging on. I was losing lap times every lap, but it was a fun race. Hats off to those guys. I don't think I had any chance to pass them. They were side by side for pretty much the whole race, so that was awesome. But no, that was cool to see. Good race.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, set of teammates, so they're going to race each other clean. And obviously, I think some of that's got to be by design. I mean, if they stay almost side by side, there's nothing really that 31 machine can do to get around on such a tacky racetrack. But granted, at the end of the day, man, you come out, you get quick time here tonight, you have a good run in your heat race, and you finish third. Hell of a run for this 31, man. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, we'll take it. Got to thank Jay with the Dirt Track Bank, Flatline Racing Bodies for sponsoring this. Extreme Images, Maley's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, Hammer Down Motorsports, Joe, Kurt, Brian, you for putting on an awesome broadcast, and everyone helping out with the league. Thanks.
Hey, hell of a run, Brandon. Can't wait to talk to you again, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
B-Temp bringing home P3, and now we're going to bring up the man who, well, he got close. He was up front for about half a lap, Clay, but man, you kind of showed him the way on the bottom through 3 and 4, and he was able to get back around you. I mean, were you surprised that the track, I mean, we actually did kind of have 2 lanes. I thought we were going to be just follow the leader, which, I mean, it kind of was, but you two were 2 fast leaders racing real hard, man. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, I utilized the cut down in 1 and 2, and as soon as we kind of separated a little bit, I started playing around 3 and 4 on the very bottom, and man, it was quick, but every time I'd get that little bit being side by side, it would almost mess up the run for the next corner, and I was trying to time it right to be able to have a chance, but the car felt fine. I mean, we were both running fast. I felt just not many options to go.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's kind of what I was telling Templeton there. I mean, when he was stuck behind you guys, I mean, especially with you guys racing side by side there for a little bit. I mean, you on a racetrack like this, I mean, you're not rooting for Trevor to make one per se, but I mean, you almost kind of need that guy when you're all quick to make a little hiccup in front of you, don't you, on a racetrack like this?
Yeah, and I think a couple times he did with that slider line on 4, and I'd get him a little bit on the bottom of 4, and then I'd be back to square one coming into 1.
Yeah, just cutting off that speed, having to crank it down coming off of 4, then, yeah, you don't really have that momentum for the slider. But I can tell you what, Clay, man, you made this race a hell of a lot of fun to watch. You and Trevor were racing about as hard as you can, keeping it clean. It was a good show. Congratulations on the Team 1-2, man. Who you want to thank?
You guys for putting it on, all the guys at FTM and Swan Speech for 358 and Big Block setups.
Hey, heck of a run, man. You gonna go playing in any sprint cars, or are you done for the night?
I might.
All right. Yep. We got to get this thing in so I can get Knoxville on. Good luck here, Clay.
All right, thank you.
Clay Christopherson bringing home P2, and now we're going to bring up the man of the hour, his teammate, Choo Choo in the 75. Trevor, how are we feeling, man? It looked like there for about a half a lap or so, you were going to be kicking yourself. Were you able to work right back down to the bottom through 3 and 4 and get it back, man? Talk to us about it.
Yeah, man, it was the track was fun tonight. It was interesting. But I mean, with that cut down line in 1 and 2, I've never raced here. I mean, quite a bit just in leagues and officials and whatnot. I've never really seen it do a cut down in 1 and 2 like that. But it made for some interesting racing. It was I mean, Clay threw a slider on me, and then I thought about throwing a slider back on him. Decided to just dive it to the bottom because he was making it work, and I think he was in a slick a little bit, so had a good run coming out of 4, and took the top in 1 and 2, and that was it. It was just a battle. It felt like all race long. Track was good. I really don't mind this place. I'm typically like decent here. I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to be bottom because you got guys like Clay in here who are just bottom masters. So that cut down in 1 and 2 was pretty good. Clay he was getting me really badly on on the entry of one. I asked him what he was doing, and he just said wide open. So that's what I was doing. He was just faster, but yeah, definitely definitely a good race.
Yeah, man. One caution. Obviously, that's good for you when you're in the lead. But man, you tired? That's this place. It's a long way around this place.
Man, my hands hurt. I was hanging on to my wheel so damn hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wanted to win this one. I like I said, I don't mind this track, and I don't think I've won on Wednesdays yet, first season of it. So I wanted to get that one done, and yeah, especially with most of the FTM boys busy, and I think there's only 2 of us in here, so definitely wanted to get it done for the boys here.
Yeah, man. And you mentioned only 2 of you coming home 1-2. Pretty damn impressive. Congratulations on the big win, man. Who you want to thank?
Just gotta thank all the boys at FTM, of course. Congrats to Clay on a great run, great battle. We didn't hit each other once, and that's what racing's all about. It's you got teammates on the track, you're racing with the most respect possible, and that's what Clay does every time we're on the track. So props to Clay. Good to run to Brandon. Shout out you, Shaggy, for doing the broadcast. I can't wait to go watch it back. Shout out everyone at Coast to Coast, Vertex Graphics, Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series, Lambton Diesel Specialist, and I want to give a shout out to my wife. I just got married on Saturday, so shout out to her. This wins for her. Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. If only we could have got her to let me broadcast that thing, but hey, that's for another day. Hey, congratulations on getting married and the big win, brother. Just keep her happy, man, and don't sit on this thing all the time. That's the only advice I can give you.
Hey, she's pretty good. She'll if I'm on it too long, she'll be like, "What are you doing?" But she's pretty good with the race and stuff. But yeah, definitely looking forward to a long happy marriage with her, and yeah.
Yeah, just tell her to walk by in the nightgown. That's the sign, and then you'll get off.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Hey,
you know it. You know it.
yeah, there you go, man. Congratulations. Can't wait to talk to you again, brother.
Thanks, Shaggy.
Trevor Giroux bringing home the big win here. Your Flatline Racing Bodies 358 Modifieds. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back on the Coast to Coast Racing Network with a little 360 sprint car action. Stick around.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion, trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman here with ShaggyTV, ready to bring you part 2 of our Flatline Racing Bodies Hometown Heroes. And like I say, if you missed, that first one, normally we have a lot more cars than this. But, we have people that race in here that live in the Midwest. Some guys maybe not living in the Midwest, but a lot of them like to go out to the hollowed Knoxville Raceway. And obviously, night 1 of the Knoxville Nationals. I mean, clearly you shouldn't have it on right now. You should be watching me. But as soon as this is over, I mean, you want to go over there. I want to put that on. I mean, this is... a great year here for the Knoxville Nationals. And a lot of my friends out there in the Coast to Coast lane going to get to see a good show. We're about to see a good show here. We're going qualifying already. Not messing around. And Brandon Templeton out of here in a sprint car, so he ain't messing around. He's out there on the racetrack first. Here we go. Might have to turn this up or down depending on how the sprint cars sound. It'll probably be down from what it sounds like in my headphones. Lap 1 is underway. The 31 of Brandon Templeton. Purple through Sector 1. Andy Patton takes the purple Sector 1 away, though, as here comes the General in the 87. Let's see what he's got. Brandon Templeton obviously crosses the line 18.16. But the General Andy Patton, no, 18.26. There's a big letdown there in Sector 2, and the General wants to get a little quicker here this second lap. Brandon Templeton, right now, he is quicker, but he slows down through Sector 2, still quicker. An 18.13 for B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. Randy Shreves comes across. He puts the 56 inside the top 5 P3. Terry Landis out here qualifying. Not too sure if Putt-Putt will qualify or not. Not even honestly too sure he'll race. He joined up, hopefully for our sakes. If he doesn't race, he withdraws from the session. So we only have that one car. 8 heat races. Terry Landis gets set to cross the line. He's quicker through Sector 2, but not quicker overall. Going to stay P8 is the Desert Demon in the 161 Yoo-Hoo machine. Closes out qualifying, and, well, we'll see if Putt Putt decides to pull out the 051 for a lap or two. It doesn't look like he's gonna. This qualifying comes to a close. Not going to have the time to. We'll take a look. Starting grid heat race, or one and only heat race, and even with, we were not going to go down a page. Yeah, we are, because he just didn't want to qualify. I wanted to start in the back. Putt Putt in the 051 rounds out the field. Clay Christopherson, row 4 to the outside. The Desert Demon in the 161. Terry Landis to the inside. The 055. Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. Row 3 to the high side. The 513 of the Brewerton Beast. Jeff Barker to the inside. The 7 of Bob DeGood. Row 2 to the high side. The 31 of B-Temp. Brandon Templeton to the inside. The 87 of the General. Andy Patton. Row 1 for our one and only heat race here in our Flatline Racing Bodies 360 sprint cars. To the high side, the 56 of Randy Shreeves, starting on the pole, the 009 of Ted York. Want to kick this thing off. And if not, you're waiting there a solid minute, giving everybody grid time. So that is a tough break there for Brandon Templeton, who would have started on the outside of row number 2. Great break for the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker, who now finds himself the outside of a friend in the 87 of the General, Andy Patton. As the Steve King Foundation pace car pulls off the racetrack, the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 6 laps to play in the clay at the USA Speedway. We're underway. Now remember, however we finish this thing, that's how you're going to grid up in your tonight in the A main. And oh, Randy Shreeves, big wad up there through 1 and 2. Terry Landis got a piece of it. Bob DeGood got a piece of it. And we're going to go back and take a better look at this thing, see how it kicked off. We'll come back to live in just a moment. So Bob clips the inside wall, nowhere for Terry Landis to go, who's hard into the outside wall. Randy Shreeves, something obviously totally different. This was up front. He gets a little shot there. Ted York got into the inside wall. And that's just, well, the way it's going to be here. And that doesn't want to jump back live, so got to do it the old school way. My apologies. And to reset this overlay in between on our intermission, but the General Andy Patton leads the way. Jeff Barker taking advantage of that outside starting position, or outside of row 2 starting spot. After the mix-up there from Brandon Templeton, who is back out on the racetrack. So may have been a steering wheel issue, anything really for the 31, who going to get 3 spots back. Definitely not what he wanted. You know, would have probably had a much better starting spot, but the white flag waves. 1 lap to play, and the General Andy Patton leading the way here under the lights in Lakeland, Florida, as we go down the backstretch for the final time. That A&J Custom Creations 87 rips the outside, cuts down, takes the checkered flag as he wins heat race number 1. Jeff Barker, Ted York, Brian Moore Sr., Clay Christopherson, Brandon Templeton, Terry Landis, Randy Shreeves, and Bob DeGood round out the field. Going to take a quick break on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We'll be right back with a little feature race in action here. Stick around. We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Almost go time here for a little 360 sprint car action. Randy Shreves at the top of the charts. Brian Moore Sr. P2. Brandon Templeton third. Bob the Good, Terry Landis, your top five. Is Bob the Good going to need to climb here after that rough heat race? Contact early on. Going to start towards the back. Clearly has some speed in that thing. Let's see what he's got as the checkered flag waves on warm-ups. We get ready to go 360 sprint car feature race in action at the USA Speedway. Let's see if we can bring up that starting grid. Now she'll pop up. Running out the field inside of row number 5, the 7 of Bob the Good. Row 4 to the top shelf, the 56 of Randy Shreves. To the inside, the 161 of the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. Row 3 to the outside, the 31 of B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. To the inside, the 051 of Putt Putt, Clay Christopherson. Row 2 to the outside, the 055 of Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. To the inside, the 009 of Ted York. Row 1 for your flatline racing bodies, 360 sprint car, A main to the outside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. And starting on the pole, the 87 of the General, Andy Patton. As drivers come down the front stretch for the final time here. Under non-green flag conditions, we get set to go play at the USA International Speedway. Can Jeff Barker hook up on the outside, or will the General round up the troops and get all the grip on the bottom and hold on to the lead? We're about to find out as we roll into 3 for the final time. You see the lights are off. Steve King Foundation pace car set to pull off. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 25 laps to play in the clay at the USA International Speedway, and we're underway. Oh, Jeff Barker gets to the outside, coming off a 2. Andy Patton trying to get it done on the bottom here as he gallops, coming off of 4. Give it to him at the line, but Jeff Barker going nowhere in that 513. Back to the outside, and the Brewerton Beast takes the lead going down the backstretch. Jeff Barker leading the way at the USA Speedway. Battle on behind. Randy Shreves trying to get around the Desert Demon, who's taking a peek under that 55 of Brian Moore Sr. We had 2 guys take EOLs, Ted York and Clay Christopherson. So that is why they are in the back. Don't think they had any mistakes. Just some EOLs. They wanted to start in the back from what I understand. As right now Andy Patton holding firmly on to P2. But here comes Brian Moore Sr. And really, here comes that 56 of Randy Shreves all over the tail tank of that 055. He tries to run a cut down. Gets a little sideways through the slick. Brian Moore blinks. And Randy Shreves gonna have to do his homework here. Try to figure out where he's quick, where he can beat him, because right now he is quicker, but I don't know how much quicker. If it's enough to go in there and throw a slide job, or if the 56 is going to have to wait and bide his time, is the 161 of Terry Landis. He clips the outside wall a little bit going down the backstretch. That allows B-Temp to think about making a move here in that 31 machine. Brandon Templeton slides up, grabs the cushion, and that Got Your Six Racing Network 31 goes to the outside now through 3 and 4. Really letting that thing hum. Gets in the wall now, bounces to the inside. Brandon Templeton gonna have to pull the reins in on those horses, man. He is flying, but here comes Ted York in the 009. He gets by for P6. Andy Patton holding on to P2. Here's the Brewerton Beast. Jeff Barker leads the way. I'm not going to say it. I won't say those words, and nobody better say it in the chat box. But come on, you know who. As Brian Moore Sr. couldn't tell if he, he just blinked out a little bit. Everybody holds on. But Randy Shreves, man, he is running out of ideas here. Has to try to find a way to get that 56 to the bottom here. Does he throw a slide job? Can't do it. Stays right in line. Here's where almost 3-4 wide with Terry Landis and B-Temp, but they both check up. And Randy Shreves, I mean, he is right there. One hiccup from Brian Moore Sr. And Randy will take it, a little blink. Oh, Andy Patton has a hiccup in the corner before. And that kind of screwed Randy Shreves. He couldn't throw the slider, and now Andy may lose one. As Mr. Wednesday Night to the bottom through 1 and 2. Look what the 55 can do. Up the P2 for Brian Moore Sr. Andy Patton back to the bottom through 3 and 4. And I just don't know if it's going to work down there, but I'll tell you, Brian Moore, yeah, he showed everybody the light here through 1 and 2. Kind of surprised Brian didn't go back down there, but Andy misses it coming off the corner, and there's still a lot left down there. Is now Randy Shreves to the outside. He takes over third. Here comes Brandon Templeton, and all of a sudden, the General getting swallowed here in Lakeland, Florida. Terry Landis, the next to make his mark here on the 87, can't do it. Still on the inside as we enter 3. But here comes Brandon Templeton to the bottom, slide job on the 56. Randy Shreves cuts back down underneath, falls back in line. And here comes B-Temp. Brandon Templeton, he brought the tap dancing shoes. Look at him sliding around on the high side. Goes to the bottom through 3 and 4. Hooks up, grows up, grabs the cushion, gaps Randy Shreves by about 2 to 3 car lengths. Can he get to the back of Brian Moore Sr. and make the move quick? If he wants to go up here and run down the 513, gonna have to do it. Slide job for P2. Brian Moore Sr. cuts back down to the bottom. Is he gonna fight back through 1 and 2? The answer is yes, slide job, but he leaves a lane open. Brandon Templeton got the horses galloping. He holds on to P2, the 31. With 8 laps to go, this time by, can Brandon Templeton get to the man who's been out front all night here in the 513? Brandon gonna swing on the high side. Let's go trackside. Oh, Andy Patton in the outside wall. He's hard in the outside wall. Up and over, up and over. No caution flag yet. We do get the caution. Oh, tough ride there for the General in the 87. Andy Patton, you can see there it starts coming off of 4. He gets his shot in the back there from Terry Landis. I kind of thought we'd get a better camera angle than that. Of course, now we get the better camera angle. And they're just both kind of stuck. Andy Patton rides the wall up and over. And first caution flag here of the night. And I'll tell you, not what this guy needed. The 513 of Jeffrey Barker had a big lead. And he needed this thing to stay green. We'll have to see if he's got enough juice to hold off the hard-charging 31 of Brandon Templeton. Jeffrey Barker, man, he has been plugging away. I mean, he's the guy who I've always said it. One of the most improved people. I mean, there was a time where, never on the road, but I would dominate Jeff in these sprint cars a couple of years ago. And I'm telling you, the shoe is on the other foot now. This guy has figured it out. He has found a lot of speed. And Barker, maybe not somebody who's going to make you, wet the bed at night scared, but, he might make you sweat a little bit. He is getting there, and being out front, he can run his own race. He's just got to protect a little bit. I think Brandon Templeton, maybe it's that secret line through 3 and 4. We'll have to see, anybody waving to Barker, shooting him hand signals. Let him know, hey, maybe try out that bottom if you need to protect, if you hear him coming with a big run. We'll have to see as we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time. We'll watch the Steve King Foundation pace car pull onto pit road, and we'll have 6 laps to play at the USA International Speedway. Good jump here for the Brewerton Beast. Jeff Barker, as we're back underway. Can Brandon Templeton go up here and flirt with the lead? Jeff Barker stays on the bottom through 1 and 2. Now you got to go up. You got to wind this thing up a little bit. Here comes Brandon Templeton. Bounces it off the wall. He is trying to squeeze every drop out of this 31 machine, swinging it on the high side. Here he comes. Oh, contact in the back. Randy Shreves hard into the inside wall. Brian Moore Sr. up and over. No caution flag. And with 4 laps to go, Jeff Barker needs this thing to stay green. Come on. We're 2 miles away. But here comes Brandon Templeton. Can he spoil the party? 3 laps to go this time by as Brandon Templeton bounces it in the outside wall. One more little kiss there for the 31, but he gets a good run off of 2. Here he comes. High, wide, and handsome, the 31, trying to trim that place down. 2 to play. He's going to look to the inside. Slide job for the lead. Brandon Templeton slides up, grabs the cushion. Can Jeff Barker answer back as B-Temp slaps the wall? He left him a lane. Brandon gets close, side by side, 1 lap to go. Jeff Barker gonna play nice, gonna leave the lane open up top. He's got 1 chance, 1 final time. B-Temp goes down, shuts the door. Final time through 3 and 4. Checkered flag waves. Brandon Templeton steals it on the final lap at the USA International Speedway. Jeff Barker P2 and Ted York, after starting in the back for an EOL, raced his way up to P3. Hell of a run for these guys, but what a final set of laps for your leaders. And man, oh man, absolute heartbreak for the 513 of Jeff Barker, who came oh so close but watched it slip away. As we'll see if we can't get a word here with our top 3 drivers. One of them just popped in. I promise I'm not just sitting here for the lovely awkward silence. There we go. Now they're starting to roll in. Let's go ahead. Let's pull up our third place finisher here. Ted, Shaggy in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, first off, I didn't see you on the penalty report. Did you just want an EOL to start in the back there? Was that kind of just, see what I can do?
I got into Randy in the heat race in, what was it, lap 1, turn 2? So I figured I'd take a EOL for that contact.
Well, hey, dude, that's respectful. I mean, it was nothing vicious. You clip that inside wall, that kind of stuff's going to happen. But, man, how did you navigate your way through the minefield? And it was not easy. I mean, it seemed like you could send this thing up top, on the bottom. I mean, what was your line of preference? I mean, how did you find so much speed tonight?
I liked the top probably until about 5 to go. And then I found the slider line on both ends, and that was really good. So thought if I had a couple more laps, I might have been able to get up there and dice it up with them guys.
Yeah, it seemed like they were racing pretty hard up front, but did that caution help you or hurt you? I mean, do you think it kind of helped you get to those guys, or do you think maybe you had a shot at least second without that caution?
I think that caution helped me. I was probably going to run about 5th without it, I think.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you get into you make a little hiccup in the heat race, but the way you owned it, man, put yourself at the back and drove this thing back up to the top 3. That's a hell of a run for you, Ted. Congratulations. You got anybody you want to thank?
I'll thank National Auto Racing Club League, and that's about it. Thank you guys for putting this all on. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, man, it's fun watching you guys drive the way you do. Great run up to the front. Can't wait to talk to you again, man.
Thank you.
That's Ted York bringing home P3, and now we're going to bring up the man who, boy, oh boy, Jeff, damn it, I thought it was time. I thought it was coming, and the caution screwed us, man. I think we had this thing, if not for the caution flag, but, dude, what a run between you and Templeton. I mean, looked like he was going to get you there with 3 to go, but he slapped it off the wall a little bit. You come right back to the inside. I mean, how much fun was that, man?
Oh, that was a riot. Even the first couple laps against Andy was too wide was fun too. So the beginning of the race was fun, and the end of the race was fun, and the middle of it was just a lot of not breathing.
Man, I have been there before, and I'll tell you, Jeff. Dude, you've probably heard me say it before, man. You're obviously one of the most improved guys. I mean, you go out here. If I run these, you beat the heck out of me. And what would be your word of advice to those other guys? What is the trick, man? I mean, how have you settled these things down and become so competitive every week?
Just try not to get intimidated by the super fast guys and practice.
Yeah, definitely,
That's
man.
really it.
Lots of practice. But Jeff, if not for, a late caution, I think we're talking to you later, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. Congratulations on a hell of a run for P2, man. You got anybody you want to thank?
Shaggy. Oh, shout out to Shaggy. Shout out to Coast to Coast Racing League, Flatline Racing Bodies, and everybody else involved. Thanks.
Congratulations, Jeff. Can't wait to talk to you again, man. Go put on Knoxville.
All right, thanks.
The Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker, bringing home P2. And now we're going to bring up the man who spoiled the party here tonight, Brandon Templeton. What a run, man. How? Like, how did you get that thing on the outside? You bounced it off the wall at least twice, and somehow you still maintained that thing on the outside, kept the momentum, and got around. I mean, what a run, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm used to having fenders, so I'm not too shy against the wall, I guess. But I did hit it a couple times, you're right. Like, especially, like, off the straightaway, it was hard to keep it straight there in the slick. But on the corners, it felt like it was on a rail, and that fixed that up. And, I mean, like, I found midway through the race, I think, a slider in 3, and it was just cutting off time like crazy on people. I was like, one of those deals where you expect them to come around the outside and you keep waiting and waiting and waiting, and you realize you're beside them still. You could have just slid up, but no, it was working there. If I wouldn't have found that, I would have never caught Jeff.
You mentioned 3 and 4 there, man, but the one that kind of caught my eye, and I think you got 2 people this way, you were navigating real close to the bottom, man, in 1 and 2, and kind of going in between those two lanes of slick. Did that catch you by surprise? Because I've never really seen anybody have success with that line, man. But I think you got around third for that and fifth as well. I mean, you were hooking up on the bottom.
Yeah, there was a few times you just kind of took it where the car wanted to go. You know, being smooth sometimes in those is just as good because it keeps you from losing lateral traction. So that's kind of what it is. Just try to let it go where it wanted to go and keep it straight as I could. So it worked out.
Well, man, we rolled in here tonight, and you know you don't always run these every week. So to come in and run third and then get a P1, I mean, that's a hell of a job for the Hammer Down race team. Congratulations on a big win, Brandon. You got anybody you want to thank?
Got to thank Flatline Racing Bodies for sponsoring Hometown Heroes. Without them, you know, we wouldn't be on here and able to watch you and everything. It wouldn't be, you know, near what it is. So thanks to Flatline Racing Bodies. Those guys are doing a lot for the league. So thanks to the Chapmans and everyone involved. Thanks to the Dirt Track Bank, Hammer Down Racing, Extreme Images, Maley's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care. You for putting on the stream, and everyone at Coast to Coast, everyone watching the broadcast and commenting. You know, that makes it a lot of fun too.
Yeah, man, I tell you, though, you made it a lot of fun tonight. You were the show. Way to steal that thing and bring home the win. That was a lot of fun to watch. Congrats, Brandon.
Thank you.
Brandon Templeton brings home the win here for your Flatline Racing Bodies 360 sprint cars. Man, he did it in style. Started in the back, drove his way up to the front, took the lead with 2 to go over the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Hell of a run and an even better way to wrap it up here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. So on behalf of all the admins, everyone who keeps this show rolling, we'd like to thank you for tuning in. I'm Zach Chapman from ShaggyTV saying so long and have a good evening.